All right, we are live. Welcome to the first edition of the Boomer and the Millennial. I am Phalon Reacts, and I am joined by my dad, Wayne, and we're going to talk about Star Trek Picard. And he's just crossing his arms. It's like, you're lucky that you convinced me not to use a camera because I would totally use it on you right
No,
now.
no.
Yes.
Boomers don't like cameras.
I've met a lot of boomers in the fandom collective. They have no problem with the camera.
Well, they haven't seen me.
Apparently, Mom thinks I should stop cackling, but I can't stop.
It's because you sound like her.
She cackles?
She can when she laughs.
Because it's like, we get it from Papa. See, I got you laughing. I got
Born
you.
and bred. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we are talking about Star Trek Picard, and I think you had something really particular to say about this show.
I wanted to hate it so much, and I did that first episode. It was awful.
It was laggy.
It was terrible. The storyline, the acting, it was like reading Wuthering Heights. It was like rubbing sand in your eyes.
And then?
And then not so much. Episode 2, it got a little bit more promising. Episode 3, I was like, wow. I'm going to watch this. It's not Star Trek. It's not.
It's not.
I don't think it's supposed to be Star Trek either.
No. It doesn't have that vibe. It doesn't have that feel about Star Trek, and I agree. The first couple of episodes is like a pain in my rear to watch. And hey, JJ, we're talking about Star Trek, but yeah, I actually did like Picard, and I don't really get why people hate it so much.
The reason they hate it is they're wanting Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. It can't be. This is almost like an after show, like such as The Walking Dead. It
True.
is an after show. What about the life that's after? And I think a lot of people are used to the sterile, moral environment of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
But this shows the realism and the realistic lives of these characters. What
yeah.
happened afterwards?
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree, and we just lost 2 viewers because they don't like that we're not trashing Star Trek. But yeah, JJ over here, he said he liked it. They hated it because it wasn't the Picard they knew.
Exactly.
Yeah, we change, we evolve.
And one
We
thing that
become
happens
grumpy.
to us old people, since I'm the boomer, say it straight up, I'm old. As we mature, we soften. Men soften, women tend to get harder. I think we make them that way.
Mom will say that.
But that's kind of what's happening with him. But you have to look at his backstory. He's suffering from, spoiler alert, from some type of a brain issue.
Yeah, dementia or...
It's a dementia. It's a Star Trek brain issue.
Which you could probably explain more considering your medical background.
No, let's not talk about that. This doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, my dad's been watching Star Trek since the very beginning, and this is the man that told me that Star Wars was the most boring movie.
We don't want to bring up that I am an avid hater of Star Wars. I'm a Trekkie 100%.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I enjoyed it, and I don't understand. I'm guessing that people that don't like the Picard show are too stuck in their ways, and they don't have a heart because I was sobbing on the last episode. I was absolutely sobbing, and you made me watch it, Dad.
I warned you. I warned you. It's not going to end the way that you want. But it did okay.
Hey, AFK Bard. Glad to have you here. We are just talking about Star Trek Picard, and my dad is completely mean because he made me watch this show and made me get invested, and I am still upset what they did to Hugh because stop killing all the X. I will not watch if it's emotional, Krista.
The first thing you have to realize with Hugh's character is he had to die off. They could not continue him on. They've already got Jerry Ryan, 7 of 9.
Oh gosh, you already traumatized me with that one.
With the whole transitioning back to human, and she's having a difficult time. We really couldn't overplay that story with Hugh.
Yeah.
And it really needed that really horrible emotional moment where basically mom has to kill their child.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't Hugh that she killed. It was the ex-Borg
Oh, that's
from
right.
Voyager.
That's right. The ex-Borg. That's the one that she had to kill. Yeah.
That it was
Hugh was
close to her children, and Hugh is the
Hugh was the from
Next Generation.
Next Generation.
And
see, that's why we needed Picard to be different. All these others kind of blend together and kind of meld together.
Well, okay, from my childhood, what I remember about it, I did like that they explored the whole Borg thing, the ex-Borg thing with Picard. He's going back to that, and people are addressing him as Locutus, I think it was.
Picard?
Yes.
Yeah, Picard. He was part of the collective at one point. So.
And they remember him.
Yeah, remember, everything is assimilated in, and everyone
Connected.
knows everything. There's no secrets in the Borg, even
Okay.
years later.
Why did he not ever see... Did Troy not even treat him for PTSD? Because he obviously had PTSD.
PTSD? Well, I'm sure he did, but it didn't work in the storyline, so the writers really needed a hook, an angle.
Ugh.
So you've got to go for that.
Rah rah.
All right, Krista. Well, Data
Was her favorite.
Okay. Yeah, Krista, you want to watch the very last episode. You'll get a kick out of it.
She'll never watch it, and then she will hate you and never let you see your grandchildren ever again.
Second reference to my age.
He is a grandpa, but not because of me.
Yeah. Well, hey, guys, we've been trying to marry her off for years.
I'm telling rude. No. Krista said no thank you. She's never watching it ever because she does not want to cry, and we don't like crying.
I don't like emotional stuff, so I was really kind of shocked what went on and the angle that they took this. So Picard definitely is an emotional roller coaster from the beginning. It's very blah.
Yeah.
But as we get a few episodes in, it really picks up.
Oh my gosh.
So then
does
we
it ever.
introduce the character played by Michelle Hurd. Is it Michelle Hurd? Rafi.
But yeah, her story was too real. Too real, I
Michelle
think.
Hurd, she was the realistic component of the entire show. She didn't have a great family life. Her backstory was brilliant from the beginning, from the Star Trek days, but then she fell into disorder.
Yeah.
And it was that bite of reality that came in for the show to make it more humanistic. We knew that we were going to be pretty heavy with artificial intelligence and sentience, but we needed that superhuman anchor to give us a little bit of reality, and she did an excellent job in portraying her character.
Oh yeah, and it was pretty depressing when you came to realize about she was going to go find her son because she needed to make amends with him, and he wasn't going to have it because
he couldn't trust her.
Yeah.
It was drug addiction.
Yeah.
And so many people suffer from that disease, and they relapse, and she had relapsed maybe one too many times.
Yeah, I agree. And then she eventually pushed herself to program the computer to never, ever let her have any more alcohol. She couldn't have anything that would cause her to relapse.
Oh, yeah. How many of us have done that? And the people that try to quit smoking, throw your cigarettes out the car window going down the road. Then you drive 120 miles an hour to the nearest 7-Eleven. So that's kind of what was happening with Rafi. She swore to never do it again, and then she was going right back into it. But that's the realistic and the realism part of Picard, which made it a little bit more human and anchored it more into our world. And I don't think we got to see enough character development on her. And I'm hoping that if there is a second season, we'll get to see a little bit more of that.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. We didn't get to see enough development, like with Rios. I wish we would have also seen more character development with him. Santiago Cabrera, I think is
Cabrera. Yeah.
Cabrera. I would have loved to see more of his character get development, just like Hurd's character, because I would also like to see flashback episodes.
I think they could get back to it. They will. The writers. Got to worry about the writers.
Yes, the writers, and that's what I've complained about,
I think
especially
we've got
with anything.
a stellar cast, a lot of acclaimed actors, but their scripts were a bit lacking.
We need a script doctor stat. Somebody contact the script doctor.
Well, they'll definitely do something with it, and we'll talk about it at a later date or another time. If this goes over okay, is what happened with Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not going to go there right now. Let's leave it alone. Let's stick right here with Picard.
Yeah, we're going to stick with Picard. But, yeah, the writers have always been a major issue. But I think if they hadn't marketed it so much as a Star Trek show, in that universe, yes, absolutely, positively. If they had just called it Picard, I think it wouldn't have received as much backlash because people wouldn't have been going to watch this with the expectation of watching a Star Trek show. It's just in that same universe. I wouldn't say spin-off. I know I've said spin-off in our conversations, but it's not really a spin-off.
I think where the confusion comes in, what is the timelines? Is this Star Trek, the original timeline, or is this Kelvin timeline? They kind of tried to blend the two.
They kind of did.
Especially the whole thing with the Romulans.
Okay, I think with the whole thing with the Romulans, it can be understood that it's in the main, because they mention about what happened to the Romulan homeworld, but it is separate from that. There's no mention of Spock disappearing and dying in a parallel timeline. But I honestly think this takes place in the original timeline. It just gives mention to things that did happen in the... it didn't happen in the Kelvin timeline, the Romulan thing, because they traveled back in time through a tunnel after it happened.
No. When Kirk was being born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Romulans came to the past.
That's right.
That's why I'm saying those Romulans that killed Kirk's dad. These are the ones those were from the original timeline, from the TOS timeline.
And this is what Captain Janeway of Voyager warned us about. Don't play with the timelines. You're really going to screw it up.
Also, Krista says she's never going to watch Lion King, so she don't want to cry about
Lion
Mufasa.
King. Yeah, no. No, so what you'll do is map it out. Fast forward through that scene.
How's she going to know if she never sees it?
Well, she's going to have to let her kids watch it. My grandkids are going to have to watch it at her house.
That's so evil. But as far as timelines go, which they really need to stop with time travel in Star Trek because it gets annoying. You know what I wouldn't mind? Just do a Mirrorverse Star Trek.
A Mirrorverse. Well, we've had enough of those, and we'll talk about the Mirrorverse in Discovery.
Hell Time Prophet.
All right.
He does Doctor Who videos.
All right, Doctor Who, my favorite. Well,
he likes old Who, as in the Fourth Doctor.
I like all Who except I'm going to hold reserve judgment for the newest Doctor, because I like that actress a lot. I really like her work, but the stuff that I've been hearing, I want to go view it for myself, because most of the garbage that we've been hearing, not quite as truthful as they'd like us to believe.
Truth. Because you can't really trust other people's opinions. You just have to trust but verify. Well, which is what I shout on this channel all the time. Trust but verify. You can trust somebody's opinion, but you have to verify for yourself.
Well, that's what I started in with Picard. I hated it. I just didn't even like the idea, and I couldn't believe I was going to waste my time watching the show. But after I watched the first episode, they was 100% right. It was just garbage. Mm-hmm. Episode 2 and 3 changed my mind, and I saw the storyline, and I saw, oh yeah, this isn't Star Trek. This is an after show.
Right. it's like you can't really consider any of the Star Trek. It has none of the elements. While it may eventually develop an ensemble cast,
Yeah.
It
Most
is.
definitely.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this season one, if they try with season two or on, try to make it more Star Trekky, I'll understand, and that this season could have been setting up, building that crew.
I hope they don't. We have enough Star Trek. We have enough. Lower Decks. It's awful. It's garbage, and I love it. It's fantastic.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting till the season finishes. Then I will give my review about that. But I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole yet. I'm waiting till all the episodes are out and stuff. Y'all can watch it if you feel like it. I am one of those people that will tell you. I won't tell you to boycott because I'm not your mom. I'm not here to boss you around. I'm just here to give my opinion. I watched all of it. They should have left TNG where it ended at the poker table. Do you agree?
Next Generation, sure. Yeah, leave it there. But I don't think of Picard as a continuation of the Next Generation. I mean, it can't be. How could it be? The setting's completely different. Regardless of what you think of Star Trek, it is actually very military. It's very driven. It's very disciplined. There were some side storylines.
Right.
But this isn't Star Trek. You got to go into it knowing this is not Star Trek.
You're right, because especially with this first season they set it up like a spy serial.
They have.
It doesn't have that military feel to it.
No, it's more of a radicalized militia going out probably. Well, we actually have no idea what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the character of Seven with Jerry Ryan, she came along, about 6th, 7th episode, and she stole the show.
I know, I think it might have been the 4th episode. She popped up because she was the pilot that was saving them.
Sure, yeah, she did jump up then.
And then at the end of the episode, she said, "You owe me a ship."
She established herself really quickly, and her story arc will probably be amazing. I mean, she's a tough woman, which really great kind of redeeming herself from Voyager, and that whole conflict that she had with the cast, that she was brought on to be eye candy, which, yeah, she was an attractive lady back then, and it being sewn into that poor suit, and then she couldn't go to the bathroom for hours on end. But forget about that, and so they bring her on, and she's a real life, strong, I don't give a flying flip character. She's just there for justice. And
sometimes her justice is vengeance, especially with 2 specific women that she killed.
Yeah, but you know what? That's realism for most of us. Who wouldn't feel that way towards other people?
And yeah, she's been a soldier her entire life. You have to admit it. I think she was a foot soldier within the Borg.
And she's a
ranger.
She's a really Jerry Ryan is a really strong actress, so she pulls this off pretty well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And she pulls it off without being a femme fatale. She is nobody's victim.
That is true. Because I don't think there's one time where she is really a victim, and she's been formed by all the issues she's gone through. Okay, it's not Picard. It is not the Picard you know, because they stated that before the show aired.
Right.
Which is good.
Right, and then here,
okay,
Star Trek was supposed to be a utopia of the Federation, actually almost communist, and that's true. That's what they were looking for, a utopia. But as we're finding out, utopias usually don't work without somebody behind the scenes, and I think that's where we're at this point now. You've got to have these rebels to help keep it in line. But I think we're going to see as time progresses for a while that the Federation is basically fallen and it's going to have to be rebuilt. I'm wondering if there's going to be a tie-in between Picard and STD. They really should have thought that.
But yeah, I think we are going to see a bit of an issue with the Federation, especially when it was revealed that the security officer was actually working the chief security of the Federation, that she was working against the Federation because she was a half Vulcan, half Romulan woman, and she was part of. I don't even know what you would equate these special forces women.
I have no idea.
AFK Bard says, I liked Elnor. I loved him too. He was a great character.
He was a definite island that's needed of caring and strong vigor, protector.
And also a child.
Yeah, he was a child. He was definitely looked at Picard as a father figure.
Who was very absent for many years of his life, which he tried to struggle with that before he eventually they understood each other, and Picard had to understand that he had to let him go, especially on the Borg ship, which probably had to be an issue, a major issue for Picard because of his experiences on the Borg vessel.
Right. That's the only thing I see. The entire show is a metaphor for everything that's going on and everything that went on. So, but and it wasn't as, dare I say that word, woke, as everyone had said. I see nothing more than a realism of relationships.
Yes, I do see that. We see broken relationships that are trying to rebuild, not always successful, the loss of, especially with old age and dealing with family that has that issue and terminal and...
old age, that's near and dear to my heart.
Of course it is.
We got to see what's going on with that.
Okay, it says, I'm big on father-son relationships.
Yeah, and I think we got it there.
Oh, yeah.
We did, and I hope that will be part of season 2, and they'll fluff that out a little bit more. Because Elnor needs some development in his relationships with people.
Oh, yeah. Because he's also got that issue that I do. I don't always have a filter.
Standing in the corner didn't help.
Okay, it's not Picard. It's like, you mean they knew it was so bad that they had to let you down gently?
Well, that could be part of it. Most definitely. I mean, I'm not saying that the show is the best ever written. I'm really not. But I'm saying that for most of us that go into it, you got to look at it. It's not Star Trek. And when I want Star Trek, this sounds bad, I click on over and watch Orville. Sorry.
I think a lot of people will agree with you, especially Orville Nation. They will 100% agree with you.
Orville's fantastic. I really like it. And so I think we needed Orville. So we got Orville that's given us Star Trek, basically. I mean, the brilliance of it, it's Star Trek.
Right.
But we needed Picard to go trashy for a while, I think. And it may find its way. This was just its freshman year. Let's see how it does in the sophomore year.
Okay, and there's a discussion I've had with other Trekkies that even people say, oh, Next Generation was the best, DS9 was the best, Voyager was the best. Most of those shows didn't find their footing till about third or fourth season.
I can tell you, Enterprise, I couldn't stand it. I hated that show. And long about third season, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and watch some episodes. And then I was ready for it, and it turned out to be fantastic. I really, really liked it. Now, the one Star Trek show I could never get a hold of was DS9. I never liked it. It never appealed to me. I watched it with you kids.
Okay, you know what? You should give it another try because you said the same thing about Enterprise and now you love that show.
Well, I have tried DS9 several times. I've got CBS access and I was watching DS9 and I was like, yeah, you know what? It was bad then. It's bad now.
Krista said Orville is the best.
Of course it is. We all know that.
I haven't watched it yet.
I just wished it would hurry up.
It's just a matter of opinion. Oh, First episode of STD, they are going to beam over a Klingon ship, but they are going to bring the female captain, another female, and ignore the ship full of Marines they could have brought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say something about Discovery. I think they missed the boat.
They did, and he brings up an interesting point. They should have had an away team. I'm sure they're trained with stealth, and is that a wasp?
Yeah, it's a little wasp.
Please give me 1 second.
Are you afraid of wasps?
No, I'm going to kill it.
Oh, it's a beetle. It is not a wasp. It's just a long beetle. Leave him alone. We can get through this.
Okay, I hate bugs, just so y'all know. People love it and people hate it. It's just an opinion. Okay, let's see. I cringe through the first episodes of each Star Trek series, except for the original. That was palpable to me. I think it's just the era.
Oh, well, most definitely. We're going to have change. It's going to, and I know everybody hates that, especially those that worship canon.
It's true. Gatekeepers.
People are different. I mean, I'm a boomer. I don't like change. I mean,
I adapt.
I do adapt, but, you got to drag me along the way.
Kicking and screaming. Like we're, like it's me.
Kicking, screaming, punching.
Like we're in a grocery store.
I don't even want to talk about the grocery store.
But yeah, it's like, oh my gosh.
All right, I'm interested in your questions. If anyone out there has questions about Picard. Let's not get into the others yet. That's for another time if we do this again.
Oh, we'll do it again. I'll drag you along.
Oh, I'm sure the police will be here at any time. So
so Captain Kirk is the only captain for me.
Captain Kirk was the captain's captain. Of course, everybody loves Captain Kirk. I mean, there was a time, I remember when the show was on, I think it was on ABC.
I think that Beatles caught in the flight trip.
We used to hear people talk about his arrogance. They didn't like it, and then people said it's too rough.
Oh my God. Shatner made 10 Star Trek movies. Can you see any other captain doing the same? And then, if your dad is kicking and screaming at the grocery store over Star Trek, there is something that needs to be addressed. Star Trek is serious. He's turning red now.
All right, yeah. No, I don't discuss Star Trek in the grocery store, I promise. Too busy looking at avocados and, yes, vegan food.
Ew.
I said it.
I need chocolate now, thank you very much.
I've got some vegan chocolate in there.
It doesn't have enough sugar, though.
No, it's sugar-free.
Oh, that's just cruel and unusual. Shauna, hey. Shouldn't you be asleep? You live in the UK. Well, she lives in Scotland, I think. But yeah.
Scotland. Remember back in 2006, I was on Edinburgh Radio, FM 101, I think it was. Paranormal Radio.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that.
That's been a long time.
What was I, 14?
Yeah, that's where that little icon came from. Is back in those days. I was here in the U.S. and isn't the internet great?
Yeah.
I could be on the radio in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh yeah. I think the first time me and Shauna talked, it's like she had to learn to make her voice sound more understandable, because when she goes full on Scottish talking, I can't understand a word that she's saying.
Well, let me tell you, they got some strict rules over there. I got red carded on one episode because I said a word that was actually a bad word, and I didn't know that.
What was the bad word?
Willy. I said I had the willies.
Oh my God!
I got red carded. I had no idea it was a phallic symbol over there in Scotland.
Oh my God. Okay, it says I was staying up to watch this. I miss you, Phalon. Miss you too, Shauna. I know you've been busy with your live stream on, I'm not sure which service you're using yet. So, but yeah, I met her through that community. Yes, that means penis. She's LOLing at you.
Yeah, nobody, I think there were 5 of us that were hosting that night, and nobody could talk. They were laughing so hard, and then I get the dreaded email, red card.
Oh my
inappropriate language.
It's not safe for work.
Right.
But yeah, my dad's done a whole lot of stuff. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That is crazy.
And now his face is still red right now.
Oh yeah. I don't tell people I go to the cemetery and get willies anymore.
I can't breathe. Oh my god. Oh, oxygen. I need oxygen.
We're kind of getting off topic here. Let's get back to Picard. Jerry Ryan. Michelle Hurd.
Oh my god. My throat hurts. Thank you very much, Dad. But yeah, when she's talking about Twitch doing amazing, yes, we met through the XDG, which is not around anymore.
That's just wrong, Bard.
Your sister said, "Oh my god, LOL."
Well, there's LaDonna.
Yep, Aunt LaDonna. Love the sidetrack though.
All right, let somebody ask a question. Tell us what you thought about Picard. I'm interested to see what you guys thought.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, JJ's having a huge laugh with us two dorks.
It's really warm in the room, laughing too much.
Oh my god.
You know, this is what happens when I was doing the shameless plug. Back when I was doing the local news, you didn't want to laugh like this, and it happened so many times, and when you're live, it's not good.
Oh my gosh. I refuse to watch Picard. Well, that's your prerogative, time prophet, but I do appreciate you coming by.
That's all right. It's if you ever do decide to watch Picard, just don't go into it as thinking it's Star Trek, because it's not. It certainly isn't.
Oh, okay. You've got a question. What was the one thing you thought you could never get over watching Picard, but you ended up being really okay with?
Well, I think I may get hate for this.
I don't care.
Picard seemed really over-emotional and weak. And at first, I really didn't care for that at all. Mm-hmm. But as I watched it, and being an old person myself, I get it. We, as men, do tend to soften up and become emotional as we get up older. Those defenses that we've built up, they start to break down, and they just kind of pour out. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the biggest thing on him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I liked Picard. I'm not a fan of the actor.
Right.
But of his work, fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he did a good job as an aging Starfleet officer, but it's a little bit maybe phoned into a point. It was a little too much. Wow, I can't even think of those movies. The X-Men movies, him and Wolverine. It was almost as if he was playing the same character. Using that emotion, using that feeling.
Was probably the only point of reference he had.
Yeah, so.
Because in the X-Men movie Logan, again, Patrick Stewart's character has dementia, and it causes him to have seizures, and he wiped out the mutant race. Right.
LaDonna says that she liked it was dark. Yeah, it was dark.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was a couple of the defining moments. Jerry Ryan obliterating her tormentor and telling a little bit of truth. The world's dark.
It is. And she was full of so much hope before that woman had basically taken it all away.
Right.
Quite literally, she took her child away, and I think for anyone that has lost a child, that would be too much.
Time prophet. Yeah, you're right. That was my biggest problem with the X-Men. Hugh Jackman, I thought was great. I really liked him in the character, but Logan was really short.
He was 5'3", I believe.
So that would have, since we were able to do the Hobbits, I think they could have shrunk Hugh Jackman down.
No, that I think that tech came after. But I think it was already too late by the time it did come to fruition, I think, with any future X-Men movies, whoever they have playing, because I don't think Hugh Jackman is going to play the next Logan.
He keeps saying that.
He keeps saying that, and then he makes a Wolverine movie. But
yeah, I think you're right, Bard. It was a bit more miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And what do we got there?
Stayed with me. I still have a hard time with it. Never knew what a real Wolverine looked like until I played Far Cry New World, and they are vicious.
You know what? And here I am talking about sci-fi, and I'm probably the most anti-video game person on the planet. I do not play video games.
Yeah, he always complains about me playing video games, even though I'm making money off of it.
I just don't like them. I tried. Okay, I suck at video games. Let's just tell it like it is. I can't do them. Even in the hospital where I work now, when I don't know if any of you people are medical, when you do CPR, you first have to do a test online, and it is virtual, and it's like playing a video game. I have to pay extra and go do it live because I can't do it. I cannot do it.
When we were,
I think it's just more frustration and anger over being a boomer, and I don't like change.
No, you're used to it. Oh, okay, that does prove your point. But when we were kids, you hated it when we played a video game that you wanted to play. We played it first and conquered it, and then you're like, there's no point for me playing this game. You already beat it.
Right. Tom Profit makes a really good point here.
Okay, let's pull this up.
Yeah.
Logan Xavier should have been alive. Logan was old and he ages much slower than everybody else. So if Logan was old, Xavier should have died years earlier.
Oh yeah, he probably should have been just a dust in the wind by that point. So he does bring up a good point there. Did they ever characterize? Did they ever say why he aged?
It actually came from a previous Wolverine movie.
So was the aging? I can't. The Witcher. What was her? I don't even remember when they took away all of the X-Men, basically. When they took away the powers.
they keep changing things. It's weird. But I think they said it was one way, but that doesn't make sense since they freaking time traveled. I hope they play off the beastly side of Wolverine. If they introduce him in the MCU, I would love an animated X-Men Wolverine instead of a drop-dead stud.
Oh yeah, come on. Everybody understands that Hugh Jackman, he was definitely too desirable, I guess, as an X-Men for fans.
Yeah, I think
the women are lusting after him, and all the guys are wishing they could be him.
I think a lot of people were like, why did Jean choose Scott over Hugh Jackman?
Well, that's a wrong topic for us right now. Let's get back to Picard.
Yes, let's get back to Picard.
If anything, let's talk more about Jerry Ryan's performance.
you just want to talk
Michelle Hurd.
You just want to talk about how hot she is.
No, we wanted to talk about gorgeousness, but she's way too young. The Romulan sister.
Oh yeah, her. And
she was mean and deadly.
But you understood how she got that way. How all those Romulan women were like that.
Oh well, definitely. They were
traumatized,
most definitely.
Just
traumatized.
Like that scientist. I can't remember.
You know what? It is when it comes to the end of the show. Spoiler alert. It was fake news.
It was fake news.
It was fake news, and it was driving them crazy through that whole point. So,
but the what was the name of the brother? He actually explained it much clearer than his sister could have, because what he said about the machines coming from the blood sky and the body parts ripped apart was literally what was about to happen.
Yeah,
because it was like octopus metal arms coming to kill us all.
Right, and I think they overstated that to that point. I think they missed a good story arc there, but I think that works. And the actress that played Janeway hated Jerry Ryan, most definitely. You can go on YouTube and see clips and outtakes, and it's very apparent what was going on between Jerry Ryan and Janeway. Janeway was a great captain, though. I mean, that show...
Oh, yeah, the characters were great.
That was my favorite show there for the longest time.
But actors and actresses are horrible people.
They have a tendency to be, yeah, I think so. But the story, they didn't let it get in the way of the story, I think. But off Voyager, we're talking about Picard. So,
yeah, but
what do you think of the story arc? And all of you, I'm really interested in what your thoughts were on Data's appearances in Picard.
That man is so old.
I mean, Brent Spiner, he's a completely likable person as Data, but
yes.
As the Doctor or the inventor of these sentient robots, that's the only word I can think of, he was very disliked. Talk about two different ends of the spectrum there. He can go from being a beloved character to super hated because he was vindictive. Nobody trusted him.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of the brother, the outcast. Because I didn't know what side he was on. I couldn't tell. There was no clear definition like there is with all the other characters because he was more in the gray. You knew where everybody else, except even that Romulan that was in love with Soji.
Most definitely.
You knew what side he was on. He was trying to figure out what he was going to do, and he thought his only chance was going to the humans. That's what I got from the end, because he showed up at their door with the bombs he needed help to plant to stop the machine. You could figure out what he wanted.
I don't know if he wanted help. I took it more as... I don't know what I took it as. Because I got so confused at various points because we had 4 storylines going at once. And I never trusted the Romulan staff in Picard's house. His gas store staff.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure out what was going on there. At first, I thought, no, these are some evil people, but I think they were genuinely good.
They were generally good. I think they understood about their own culture, how bad it was, and the mess that Picard was about to jump in. Which is why that woman, his housekeeper, is like, "You're stupid, go stand next to him." Sort of like that Oscar scene. Connie, go stand next to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So you're talking about lore. I love lore. He loves lore. Well, Data stole the scene except for scenes with Spot.
You didn't like Spot? I like Spot, sort of.
Space Jesus said, "God bless you." It's Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay.
I'm the Star Wars, he's the Trekkie. But yeah. No.
Lore was Data's brother. He was the evil brother, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was supposed to, which is why I was so confused.
But Lore wasn't in Picard.
That was the human brother.
Now I'm confused. I'm going to have to go back. You just confused me. I'm a boomer, folks. I'm old. I forget things, just so you know.
He's only in his 50s.
Only?
Only!
So how old are you now?
37. Bite me.
You get to stand in the corner in a timeout after all this. You'll be there a long time.
Time Prophet's 51.
All right. Good. There's some humans here.
I've got human people.
Okay. Millennial.
And your point being, I'm a first wave millennial. I'm not like one of those weirdos.
They're not weird. They're just different.
They stupid.
I'm not a millennial, so I'm not going to comment until we're off mic.
This is also the man that me and him start doing your mom jokes.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Don't lie.
I don't do anything so inappropriate.
You have the emotional maturity of a 10-year-old, so do I.
Beg your pardon, I think at least 13.
At least
I don't like fart jokes.
Yeah, the doctor on Picard was the human brother. Lore, was the android. Okay.
Thank you, LaDonna. See, there's someone else in here that's smart. And a boomer.
Be nice to Aunt LaDonna. She can't reach over there and smack you. Okay, but yeah, I don't remember. I think they just called him Dr. Simus? What was the name of the surname for the... Okay,
I just told you my brain doesn't work and stuff like that.
He is a man. What do you expect?
Right. Wait, let me see who this is.
Okay, he gotta check his messages. Don't know what they say. But as you can tell, we have a lot of fun here.
We do?
Oh, Lord.
Okay. The Doctor on Picard.
Yeah, that's what we just said.
All right.
But yeah, if y'all have any other questions, please feel free to ask.
Because I have no idea how much time we've been in on this at all.
Oh, look, right here. It says live. How many minutes you been on here?
Well, there's so many pretty colors on that monitor. Which one am I supposed to look at? You and this newfangled technology. Back in my day, we didn't have computers. Well, we did.
This actually is not a far off setup of our first computer when I was 15. Oh, my Lord. How long has that been? 22 years?
You're 40 now?
You're abusive. I'm suffering from emotional abuse from my father, and why is... Oh, my God.
So... All right. So, well, let's get back. The story definitely in Picard was talking about the accepting of sentient beings, and I think maybe they missed it just a little bit. I think that Jerry Ryan and the rest of the crew was much better when they were gallivanting around the galaxy. That was a little bit more entertaining. It got a little stale when they were with Data's family, I guess we could say, there on the planet.
I would like to know, did Data's brother end up killing that one girl? Or just deactivating her?
Yeah, that was something that kind of intrigued me there when she was allowed to be killed by the Romulan traitor, who ended up good. But now I'm supposed to not laugh. Sentient beings in Mexico.
Poor Phalon.
All right, so
did I just hear a microwave?
One of the no, that was my cell phone. I didn't have it turned down.
No, it's a cell phone. We are in my room, far away from any microwave or anything like that. But his phone is right next to the mic, so if you hear any dings, it's his fault.
Now I'm losing my train of thought. The murder of the robot girl.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that was allowed. But what I wanted to know if they could take Data and his complete memory and rebuild him from a single microbe or proton, whatever you want to call it, why couldn't they save her? Because they had all of her. The only thing that was removed was her eye. She was killed or whatever. They should have been able to regenerate her pretty quickly.
Oh, you mean the sweet, kind one?
Yeah.
They said it was corrupted.
Well, you know what? You're living all the way up there, and they've got fantastic computers. I bet they have some great antivirus software.
You would think.
Yeah, so that really didn't make too much sense. They should have been able to bring her back. And look at, spoiler, what they did with Picard. Picard died. So he went and
But-
he basically merged with Data. He became what Data was. But he's
Well,
human.
they would have to go back, I imagine, and find where it'd be like a Trojan infecting a computer, I imagine. But this is a person, and it's not like
Somewhat organic, I think.
somewhat organic.
So
So it would have had to be some very weird virus or corruption, because whatever that butterfly thing that she wore,
So basically, they corrupted her motherboard. You can get one at Radio Shack.
Best Buy,
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon delivers, so I think they should have went with Amazon.
They should have gone with Amazon unless it was
3-day delivery.
You know what they could have? They very well could have. Why couldn't they save Data and Nemesis then?
You know what? I think that we're going to see that. Spoiler, they kill Data off, or they let him die or experience death. Sometimes we do that with our computers, don't we? We do a hard shutdown, leave it off for 5 minutes. We could see Data return. All they're going to do is reboot the system. Because did you see he was a computer at that point? It was just saved. His memory was saved. So when we turn off our computers, does it kill the program? Usually not, but sometimes. So they have an out. I mean, I think people would scream and complain because that's what they do about anything that's strange or they don't like. But they could bring his character back. Mm-hmm. Just reboot him. And then load him into
Before Data killed himself in Nemesis, he should have left a hair behind.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There was probably some hair left behind with the Borg. They could go find that.
Wasn't that in the past? How long does it take for hair to completely disappear?
Well, not that. It takes quite a while, a few hundred years, for it to disintegrate if it's dry. So if it was on the Borg ship with the Borg Queen and they destroyed all that, but not necessarily everything was destroyed. Do you remember some of the episodes, Star Trek 1 and... which one was it now? Because I do get confused. It wasn't Voyager. It had to be... Oh, I don't know. It might... Wow.
It's been so long, I don't remember most of the stuff.
Them bringing about a cascade that destroyed an entire race, and they showed up in ships, and they tried to beam them up. So, find their molecules and bring them back together.
Data had a positronic brain.
He did, but still...
I said Data had a positronic brain, a word coined by Isaac Asimov.
Have you read iRobot? No, not that movie.
No, I haven't read it.
Yeah, you need to read it. Don't go by the movie. Isaac Asimov, he's the one that really came out with what kind of could happen with sentient robots. He did really well with that. I think it scared a lot of people. Not necessarily. I think that was they were afraid that they would. But the human race will die out at one time, and it will all be sentient robots or manufactured beings, whatever you want to call them.
Movie was based on a short story, but it was nothing like the book. Okay.
All right, so we're getting close to wrapping up, and I'm sure this was a complete waste for everybody's time, but...
I'm gonna smack you.
Oh, sorry about that. This is our first episode, so who knows
what chaos is gonna happen next time.
We'll try to be a little more structured. Yeah, you need to be structured.
Good luck with that.
Just stand in the corner. 37 minutes. 1 minute for every year of your life.
Oh my gosh. So how many minutes are you standing in the corner?
I'm going to stand over there an hour.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go check over here on YouTube, see what people are saying.
Oh,
Kai. Hey. Glad to see ya. Hopefully I can mute myself. But yeah. Okay, there he goes.
Oh, okay. There they all are.
Oh, I lost a subscriber.
Sorry about that.
I regret nothing.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Jesus found me again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think we are probably going to end this pretty quickly. If y'all have any last minute questions, feel free to ask them. We'll be here for a couple more minutes. At least. But yeah, me and my dad have been having fun here. And we are planning on doing this again next Sunday.
Yeah, I just have to apologize. This whole thing's been a wreck. I'm letting Phalon in the driver's seat. Scary.
So rude.
Well, I'm your dad. I'm supposed to lead, but I'm letting you lead.
I haven't crashed in the ditch yet, so I don't know what you're going.
Not since you were 14.
I was.
You drove on the wrong side of the road. Continuously.
I was not 14.
How old were you?
18.
18. Oh, well, I think you should have kept that at 14. Don't tell him.
Dad, have you seen the 1974 movie Silent Running?
Jeez, I don't know. I may have. I'm going to have to go back and revisit it and take a look at it. I've seen so much that I'll have to visit with that and get back to you on the next podcast if we have. Or what is this thing called?
Live stream?
Well, same difference.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, Kai, me and my dad have been talking about Star Trek Picard, which it should never have been called Star Trek because it wasn't a Star Trek show. It took place in that universe, but that's it. But
it's an after show.
It's an after show, yeah. I will agree. AFK Bard thinks this has been very entertaining. Oh my gosh.
Huey, Dewey, and
we are
Louie.
hams. We are absolute hams.
Well, I didn't know what to say.
Kai's like, damn right, it's not a Star Trek show.
It mostly isn't, Kai. I agree.
High five
Hi.
out to Dad.
Yeah, and like I had said earlier on, I hated the idea of Picard. That first episode, I'd rather go back and reread Wuthering Heights than relive that first episode. But then after the second and third, I forced myself through it. And then finally it clicked. This isn't Star Trek. I'm not even going to watch it as Star Trek. Because this is something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
It's not structured. And then I was able to enjoy it. And that was something that I had to do. And I have a very brilliant wife, very smart wife. And I will never admit that. And Phalon, you delete this out of here when we get done. She said it's entertainment. That's all it is. And you're right. You know what? If you want to watch it for entertainment value, it's great.
Oh, Phalon Rax, you seen a picture of you on Twitter today? You look like the picture of your dad. Do I look that bad? I look that bad?
Well, you know what? Think about the age of that, because that was done way back when I did radio, back in 2006. So...
Be around the age?
Yeah. No, I was 40-something even then.
Okay, so at least 10 years ahead.
Yeah, right.
But I do look like my dad. I will agree with that. We didn't really know who I really looked like for so long. But I have the same kind of eyebrows, though I'm not doing the rock bottom eyebrow. Why did you have your eyebrow like that? You look deflected.
Because that's the way I look half the time. I usually don't smile that much. It's usually disgust is why I have that arch in the eyebrow. Because I don't like anything.
Oh, Kai said he forced himself through season 1 of Discovery and knew it was all going to be bad. In terms of entertainment, the writing is bad. It becomes unentertaining to me.
You know, you're right. Discovery, year 1 was a freaking disaster.
Oh, yeah. That was a gigantic dumpster fire, and somebody added propane.
The saving grace in season 2? Or was
Season
it 3?
2. Season 2 hasn't even started in season 3.
Season 2, come on. Captain Pike is great. Now, I like the actors. That's kind of my trademark. Yes, I did get... I have a tendency to wear the loud shirts.
He does. They're orange.
I like shirts. blue shirts, yellow shirts, orange shirts, flowered shirts. I like a lot of cartoon. I'm a big cartoon freak. Worked very briefly in animation and cartooning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Rocco Modern Life. I Rocco's Modern Life. Look at his shirts. That's me. I'm Rocco.
Except you wear pants.
Oh, well, when you're around.
I'm so glad that this will not get demonetized, and you know this show ain't for children.
But you like Rugrats too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Spock. Okay, there's a Spock in season 2. I liked Spock.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why they decided to make Spock a dyslexic version, kind of adding to it. Everyone's complaining emu Spock. We get to see more of his human side.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much of his human side, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But we get to see the sibling rivalry that occurred. I liked him, and I think he really came into his own when Pike came into the storyline. It worked, and I hope they go more with a Captain Pike series. Those characters, I think, could do a lot of good to revive the series.
As long as they keep to what Star Trek is.
Right.
That is the major
issue. And I
issue.
think way back in the days when I mentioned cartooning, I got a chance to meet with Michelle Roddenberry. We worked on the possibility of a series of her playing a captain aboard a hospital ship. That didn't come to fruition, but it's okay. I had that experience, and I got to talk to her extensively on the phone many, many times. She was a lovely, lovely lady. I don't know if I think she would approve of where the storylines have gone. I can't speak for her in any way.
Yeah.
I did not know her that well. It was just phone conversations over a period of weeks, but she was a great lady, and she was a defender of Star Trek.
She was. Do you still have those drawings that you made?
Oh, yes.
We're going to have to show those off.
No, because they're roughs.
And your point being?
They're roughs. They're really bad.
Okay, let's compare it to the kind of art we see right now.
They're roughs. They're really bad. Have you seen the kids these days with what they're doing? Wow.
Okay,
I'm never going to pick my sketchbook up again.
Michelle Roddenberry
she was
the best.
You know what? She was so genuine, too. She was not full of herself whatsoever. It was like talking to your best friend. And I think she took that with everybody she met, anyone that she met with.
Mm-hmm. And, oh yeah, Kai and Time Prophet are talking about stuff. I don't remember Pike being in the pilot that aired. I haven't seen the one that didn't. Well, the pilot that didn't air, they kind of put it into the menagerie, didn't they?
Yeah, they broke it up into the menagerie. They made it a 2-parter with Star Trek. Mm-hmm. Originally, Michelle Roddenberry was, of course, who came to fame as Nurse Chapel. And Roxana Troy, she was number 1. Mm-hmm. And Spock, of course, was the science officer, and he was more stale.
More human. He was too human, I guess.
I thought he was stale. I didn't care for that character at all.
No, I mean, the fact that he's just smiling and I'm like...
But you know what's a good tie-in with Discovery?
The pilot.
So he hadn't found himself at that point.
He was still in between two worlds.
I think they tied those two in together pretty good. You're right, Prophet. It didn't have the full story, but I think that's what most people are familiar with. And I do not remember if I've seen the original pilot. I was like 5, 6 years old.
I'm going to see if I can dig it up.
I've looked, and I can find parts, but I just don't know.
Do you hear Kai? No! It has both versions of the pilot.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Discovery and Picard need to be surgically removed from Star Trek, not connected to it.
I mean, I can agree with that, actually, with Kai. I don't know that those two need to be... they can be standalone versions, but I don't
Parallel universes.
and we don't need to mix them with the canon.
Yeah.
And let's not get stuck too much with canon on these. These are there for our entertainment, continuing stories, and I think it appeals to the younger people.
Yeah.
I like the actors. I like the actors
Oh,
really
yeah.
well. They're talented, and I think with what they had to work with, they did the best that they could. And I think they did a
Agreed.
good job at it, but the storylines sucked.
They need to fire those writers, hire some new ones, fix it.
Yeah, the bottom heads. Yeah, the aliens
Had bottoms.
bottom heads. Yeah, I know that in Menagerie with the first episode, one of the guys that appeared as the psychiatrist on How to Dream the Genie played one of the bottom heads.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting, but all that time is gone, so things are going to change. All those actors are gone. Most of them now.
Yeah,
what I'm
most.
saying are they're not working. I mean, I can't see.
Shatner's still working.
I
I,
can't
don't
see
know what you're talking about.
Shatner, I can see Shatner coming out as Captain Kirk now. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, he could play an ad. I mean,
they
he could play
killed him
Admiral.
off. They killed him off, so there's no.
Well, they don't. It doesn't necessarily have to be dead. There's still an echo in the ribbon.
Why you got to do things like that?
I'm
Dad?
telling you, there's ways to bring it out. Janeway brought it back. She said it best on Voyager.
Mm.
You know, you start messing with the timeline. And now we got Discovery 1,000 years in the future.
He could somehow get spit out somewhere.
Well, they could always go back because there's going to be something going on. I don't know. It's all confusing. But like I said, they could take these two series, put them over in a pile of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can enjoy them. You can. Don't worry about it. You can, forget canon when you're watching them now. Go back to the other stuff when it says definitely this is Star Trek. We can criticize. Well,
I was trying to.
Chekhov.
What?
Yeah. Chekhov was my favorite back in the day. But in the original Star Trek, nobody held a candle to Nisha Nichols. That was my first crush. I was like 7 years old, 7 years old by that point. And I had a big crush on her.
I think a lot of people had a big crush on her.
Her and Lieutenant Yeoman Rand.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I think we've run over a bit. I think we're done, guys.
At least for now. We will be back same time next Sunday because I think we're probably going to discuss Discovery in depth.
We're going to talk about Discovery.
And we are going to throw season
Babylon
1 on the
5,
dumpster.
most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Babylon 5, I hadn't thought about it in a long time.
DS9's a ripoff of Babylon 5.
Yeah, but we'll have to cover that at another time. But most definitely.
No. I have a friend, Continuum Trek. We've talked quite a bit about this, which you should absolutely discuss with him. But we're going to discover it was really bad.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but we are going to be back next week. My dad refuses to be on Twitter, so if you have any questions for him, you have to message me. Or you can leave a comment, and we'll respond somehow, some way. But we will see y'all next time, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.